Besides sending the police, you might want to send an ambulance or a hearse.
Hello, Billy Ho here coming at you. Week 14 already in the NFL season. Main slate. We're going to talk some stacks. I'm going to get into a little bit of weather since it's that time of the year where weather can be dicey. So I'll just give you just an idea on what to look out for. Shout out to the Discord, Billy Ho's Flophouse. We've been grinding, just me and a couple of guys. So you ought to check it out. Join the Discord. I mean, if you just want to get in a free Discord where you can bounce ideas off a half a dozen people and have every comment looked at, heard, responded to. I'm not dissing anybody else's Discords, but they usually have a lot of noise and a lot of crap in there to deal with. So it's really a lot easier on these smaller Discords. So join in. It doesn't cost you anything. If you're already a member of Discord, all you got to do is click on the invite, and it'll immediately put that server up there, and then you can come in and check it out. Just be a stalker, be a creeper, or whatever, and just read comments and see what it's all about. Everybody's opinion matters, so we're a friendly bunch of guys. Get in there and check it out. Throw out some comments. Now, what I won't tolerate is people bad mouthing other people or fishing or, hey, check out, can you use my services or any of that? That'll get you bounced right away. But let's get into this week. We're going to take a look at some games. And real quick, I want to talk weather. So we'll get into that. Let's share. Now you can look up here and just see the general weather, and I usually use that plus a couple of sites that break it down. And I have the same PGA weather things that I use for golf. So anyway, these are just a few games to look at that might be possibility of rain. Obviously, things can change, but wintry mix at Buffalo, New York for the Bills game. That's the first game we'll look at. Possible rain, maybe some wind at the Giants. Showers in Pittsburgh. Showers and wind possible in San Francisco. Always possibility for showers in Seattle. But, the good thing about Seattle, even if it does rain, maybe that keeps people off the games a little bit. And you can get on it because, if it's just raining, these guys, they put a dry ball down every play. And they can throw and catch with gloves, and I mean they sometimes taking advantage of a rainy game can give you a lot of leverage. So just keep that in mind as well. And we are going to get into this first game, Jets at Buffalo. The Mike White stack I was on last week kind of got there. It was really disappointing. Me and a guy I just joined the Degenerate 75 Discord. Shout out to him. I got second place in his contest and got the free month in the Discord. And me and a guy just bounced back and forth a little bit about that Mike White. We were tilting on him. He posted how he sucked, and it was right before the fourth quarter where he cracked 369 yards and got that rushing touchdown and got the 22 points. But he should have, I can't say shoulda, coulda, woulda, but they stalled out like 2 or 3 times in the red zone. And then they got stopped on that fourth and goal. He could have had 27, 32 points and made a big difference in the day. But, ifs and buts, right? But I don't mind running him back. They're at Buffalo, and there is a chance for some weather. But he seems content. If they're chasing points like they were in Minnesota, they got down early, and he threw 57 times. And they finally got Corey Davis going late. Elijah Moore, of course, Garrett Wilson is off the chains. And the Knight Rider, Bam Knight, he got his. 5 for 5 for 28 yards ain't great, but at the 5 receptions, and he got the majority of the work like everybody thought. 500 bump in price ain't no big deal. You can play him. What I was thinking about doing is a White stack and using both Wilson and Davis. Wilson is creeping up there close to 6K, but I still think that's value. And you'll probably hear that from everybody else. The real value is going to be Corey Davis. I think he's going to start, if they're chasing points, he's getting 8 to 10 targets. And dude will, get, he has a possibility, I think, for 100 and a touchdown this week at 4,200. And that's a very cheap stackable game. And it does give you the ability to run it back with Diggs if you want to. But what I want to do with this is maybe not use Diggs and maybe take a shot on Gabe Davis or McKenzie. And then I can get up to Justin Jefferson, because we'll get to that game in a minute. I'm pretty high on Justin Jefferson this week for obvious reasons. The other sneaky run back would be James Cook. He seems to be starting to get a little bit more, especially if they get any kind of lead on him. 6 out of 6, 24. If he starts getting these targets, that's going to be great for him. He won't need to score. If he's 4,600 and he doesn't need to score a touchdown to get 3X, that's a bet right there. So get down on that. Keep an eye on Michael Carter, though, for Knight. If Carter's back, that's going to throw a monkey wrench. But we'll see. He still may get some love anyway. But like I said, we'll check in on that later on. The other guy I think we can still run. I'm going to give another shot to Conklin. He got 7 targets. He just couldn't connect. White was really off his kilter early. He was bouncing the ball off of people's heads. He threw a couple early picks. He really didn't get settled in until desperation time, and he almost brought him back to win that game. So I think Conklin's worth a shot. Knox, you can't take a shot on him at 3,800. He is just, look at his stats. I mean, he's got one good game the whole year, basically. I mean, 3,800. If you're now, you watch, he'll turn around and have 70 yards and 2 touchdowns. But I don't think so. And if you want to play Josh Allen, go for it. But if you go Allen and Diggs, there's 8,300. That's 16.6 right off the bat. Look what you're dealing with here. And I'll just show it to you so you'll know. And we'll just, we'll just throw in a cheap defense, Jets D. And I know it doesn't matter, but you're down to 5,100 a player to fill out your entire roster, and punt tight end. And then you 5,600 and you're, so that's what I'm saying. It's tough. Because, 30, 35 points. Jets defense is still pretty good. They still get to the quarterback. So I don't think I'm going to get to Josh Allen this week. I was talking in the Discord, and basically I don't think I'm going to pay up for quarterback anymore unless it's maybe Fields in the right matchup and Allen in the right matchup. And I don't feel like Allen's in the right matchup this week. And obviously Fields is off the board. Hurts is the guy. So Jalen Hurts is the dude, you can pay up for, and we'll get to him in a second. But that's all. That's about it for that game. I need to get moving along here. So Cleveland and Cincinnati, the Burrow stacks have been just hit and miss. Burrow got there last week, but he didn't bring really anybody along with him because he got the rushing touchdown and about 40 yards. So if you want to play him naked, that's cool. That's probably what I would do if I did, because I just don't know. I mean, Chase may go off in this game, or Higgins, but we know run funnel Cleveland. So if Mixon's back or Pirine, you're looking at one of them too, and basically DST also. If you looked at the game last week, look at what the Browns did at Houston. I mean, they just 14. They gave up 14 points, but that's really not the thing. Obviously, your boy is a disaster. Maybe they put Davis Mills back in because Allen is Kyle Allen. Kyle, he's not getting it done. That was awful. I mean, he tried to quarterback sneak on the goal line, and all of a sudden the ball pooped out of the line of scrimmage right into. I mean, if you can't get handed any other pick six and then Peoples-Jones with the punt return, I mean, 30 points out of a defense. I have to check with my man Squirrel Man and see what he had going on with the Browns D, because he was touting them. Shout out to him. They were expensive as shit last week, $3,900. So I couldn't quite get there. And fluke or not fluke, he was right. So shout out to my man Squirrel. He gets it done. Now, back to this game. I don't know if I want any Browns players. Cincinnati's defense has been stepping up. Defensive team, running game, and Burrow stacks. That's about it. Let's go over to Houston and Dallas. The first thing you're going to want to do if you want to build is plug in this Cowboys defense. I just got done talking about Cleveland, and you know how Dallas is. They flat pressure the quarterback. So poor Kyle is going to be running for his life. And then you got Pollard between the run game, Pollard and Elliott, and you could play either one. Be honest with you, that they'll get rushing attempts, I think, and it could very well be just like I mean, they ain't dropping a 50 burger on them again, but they could be in such good control of this game that both of them get theirs. I'm gonna play some Zeke because I feel like this is the kind of game he's gonna grind out. He hasn't had, let's see, he hasn't had a 100-yard game all year. Nope. So they may get Zeke 100 yards this week, and he's got multiple touchdown opportunities. He doesn't catch a lot of passes. So either way, but if he can get you to 15 to 18 at 6,100, I'm fine with that. And obviously, I'm not playing any quarterbacks. Dak is just not I still don't think he'll throw a lot. He's just efficient in what he does. He had 3 touchdown passes and didn't crack 20 points. So, and they're going to protect him. He's not going to run in this game. So, Dak is out for me. Obviously, Kyle Allen, garbage. I mean, that's just awful. Interceptions. He's thrown 2 in each game now. No shot on that. So, defensive team and running game for Cowboys for me. Next up, Minnesota, Detroit. That's where I was talking about before. The first thing I'm going to do is kind of make a priority for Justin Jefferson. He's been a little bit on the quiet side. He had that one touchdown in the late in the game, fourth quarter or so, that would have been that would have been his second worst game. He's had some really bad games, but he's had some blow up. I think he's due for a blow up game, be honest with you. He hasn't had a 30 burger. He had 30 in the New England game, but I'm going to put the over under at 27 for him. I think he still gets his double digit targets. I think he's 100 yards and a touchdown. He might get 2. Detroit, obviously, it's a track meet. Everybody will say it. You can go run right back. He'd be your run back with a golf stack. My golf stack got there last week, and it's golf. Fuck Jamal Williams and his touchdowns jacking ass. They must lead the league in first and goal from the 1 because he'll get his touchdown probably. If he doesn't get his touchdown, the golf stack's going to roll. But for me, it's Swift like it worked out last week, and it's St. Brown, and it's Chark. Those are the guys. Jameson Williams is not there yet. They're talking about him being a gunner on special teams and stuff. I can't trust that. I can't trust Thielen, although he is a play. I mean, at Detroit, it could be an Adam Thielen week. I won't, people will probably be off of him. He'll be low owned for real because he still gets, targets. He's got his 6 targets in the Jets game, but they were playing from ahead. So, it's hard to say if this game's a little more, cray-cray, then Detroit, he got 61 and a touchdown last time they played. So I'll put Thielen in the mix. But, I mean, that's about all you need to do right there. You don't need to get cute with defenses or anything in that game. The Philly, New York might be some weather. It does, maybe some showers or something. But just keep an eye on that. Obviously, Jalen Hurts. I don't know if I can't really trust anybody on New York. Barkley has been pretty quiet. I'm not paying 8,200 for 19, 20 points. He had the 26-point outburst against Houston, but really he's got steady volume, but with the addition of, I won't put it out of the realm of possibilities of playing Daniel Jones, just because you got that 50 to 70 yards rushing upside and a touchdown, but he's going to need that to get you there, because I don't think he's going to get it throwing it. He can, but against Philly, they got a pretty good secondary. But he is at home. Keep an eye on the weather on that one. So it hurts, obviously, but that stack got uber expensive. 81, and Devontae is up to 63. I want to say he was okay. He's only up 100, so I guess it's only a couple hundred more if you wanted to go that route. But are you really counting on him bringing both along again? I mean, how often does that happen? Tennessee, you can throw on. And I think it was, even though they were blowing them out, it was just working. I mean, they couldn't stop A.J. Brown. They couldn't stop Devontae. It was just easy pitches and catches for Hurts. It might not be that easy against the Giants. They are a better defense, obviously. So I'll keep an eye on that game and make some decisions later on in the week on what to do. But this is another interesting game. Baltimore at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh obviously has been giving it up, and I do believe Lamar. It says questionable. I thought he'd be out. It says week to week, so knee injury. It is encouraging, but they're playing Pittsburgh. You don't take any team for granted, because they just damn near lost to Denver. But they ought to be able to beat Pittsburgh with a game plan and giving Huntley all week. Huntley can play. That's why I said he can play. I mean, 16 DraftKings points, and I don't remember when he came in the game, but he can run just about this. I won't say as well, but he can run. He's got rushing TD upside. He's got 40 to 60 yards rushing upside, and he can throw a couple of touchdowns in the passing game. It's just a good spot for Huntley. I mean, Andrews has been all right. I think maybe he's finally getting a little bit more healthy. He's been middle of the road, and he ain't worth paying $6,500 for 10 or 12 points. But this might be the week. He hasn't scored a touchdown since week 6 against Pittsburgh. So this might be the week to jump back on Mark Andrews. And that's the stack I would play. But the other pieces aren't bad. I mean, Robinson has been getting in the mix here a little bit. 4K is cheap. Duvernay also returns kicks. He got 6 targets. I mean, these two guys are going to get targets. One of these two guys is going to get there. So it just depends on which one you pick. Now, next game up. This is also a good week, I think, to fade most of the afternoon games. I didn't mention before, but there are only 10 games on the slate. And there's only 3, excuse me, there's only 3 afternoon games. And there's only one that I really like that much. It's probably obvious. But the next game up, Jacksonville, Tennessee. And I like Derrick Henry. I'm just going to have to start playing him until he hits. It's December. They're at home against a vulnerable Jacksonville team. I made a couple of notes. All right. Derrick Henry, obviously, they got blown out last week. He only got 11 attempts. He has 100 less attempts on the season in losses. That's significant because they lost to Cincinnati. Also, he has been a lot better on the road. But if you look at who they've played on the road, Green Bay, Kansas City, Houston, all teams that you can run on. Washington, you can still run on them. Buffalo was vulnerable, but they only gave it. They were the one that played them well. The Giants, Las Vegas at home was the only team that they played at home that I would think, Denver, Cincinnati, they all very good defenses, and they've only played 5 home games. So I'm not going to believe the home hype. I think they lean on Henry a lot. We're going to have to look at Treylon Burks because he took an absolute shot. It's such a shame. I didn't play Burks last week, But then you get that touchdown and you're like, yes, and then he gets KO'd and knocked out of the game, and then that's usually what happens to me, but it didn't this time. If they don't have Treylon Burks, I thought Henry or Tanny, this could be a Tannehill game, but without Burks, it's kind of iffy. But Tannehill can chuck it when he has to. He can get that 291. He can get there, if for 5,200, he's just as trustworthy as a Mike White or anybody else, as long as he throws it enough. Jacksonville could push him. Tennessee obviously can be thrown on. Wide receiver one, Christian Kirk is getting there. I may see Zay Jones. I was disappointed in Etienne last week. He had the early fumble, which I think screwed with his touches and his confidence. He only got 13 carries. Of course, they got way down early too, but he should have been in the pass game more. But you can throw. That was a problem. You can throw on Detroit. You don't have to just dump it off to the running back every time. He had Kirk and Jones. They had some drops and whatnot, but I would go Derrick Henry in this game, and then maybe you could do an Austin Hooper or just Henry as a one-off. That's what I've been doing so far with builds. Next game up, Kansas City, Denver. We're going to speed it up a hair bit. I already told the Discord I don't really care for much anybody on Kansas City anymore. If you want to play Mahomes, play him naked, 8K. That's cheaper. It is at Denver, tougher D. Turns me off a little bit. He could still throw for 3 touchdowns, and Kelsey is the only other play. Obviously, Dulcich, you could use as a run back if you wanted to. And it is what it is. I don't like this game. It's a low total. Kansas City is probably going to win in a grind out. So anyway, next game. This is the one game I do like in the afternoon. Carolina, Seattle. Geno has been money in the bank. I mean, I tried to pivot to him on late swap, but I couldn't get there. I did late swap to Metcalf and Lockett, which helped me cash all my Mike White lineups, which was nice. But I mean, he's thrown it 35, almost an average of 36 times in the last several weeks. People are talking like that instantly Kenneth Walker is going to play. But if Kenneth Walker is limited in any fashion, Geno's a dunk. Dealing with a right ankle strain. So I don't know if they're misspelling that, and could be available. So they may give him a pain shot and send him out there. He might not be a bad play because people shy away from him if he's active, and they do say good things. But the guy I like, Donta Foreman. This dude runs with a vengeance, dude. He's not that involved in the pass game, but he's like I don't know, not like Derrick Henry, but he's similar to Derrick Henry where he gets a lot of volume. They're going to hand it to him 20 plus times as long as it's working. And he can get 100 yards and a touchdown, and the 5,400, that's all you need. Get her done. 15 to 20 points, I think. He's your run back. And then the other one is DJ Moore. If you want to roll the dice on a Sam Darnold stack, I don't hate it. Because Sam Darnold can sneak a rushing touchdown in, and this game could be a sneaky shootout because it ain't like Seattle don't give up points. Hell, they just had to grind it out against the depleted Rams team last week. So that's a good looking game actually, and people may shy away from it, especially if they see some rain in the forecast. But that's a good game to play. Geno, Metcalf, Lockett, maybe Ken Walker, Noah Fant at tight end. That's about it. And then DJ and Terrence Marshall maybe too. So that's a good game. This game I don't like. Brady pulled it out his ass last night, and for having two good, being almost 100% healthy, you'd think they would have played better against New Orleans. But they always struggle against New Orleans. So, I guess it is what it is. 17-16. Nice win, Tom. Terrific. And Brock Purdy going to be back again. I don't see him shining like he did against Miami. But the San Francisco defense is healthy and tough. I'm just probably going to avoid this game altogether. If you want to play McCaffrey, I'm cool with it. Mitchell's still on IR. I didn't see what Mason did. I wanted to see this. Okay, so he 8 attempts. That's all right, but you can't play him. You got to have a touchdown. Playoff Lenny, Fat Lenny, whatever you want to call him. I don't know if I like anybody. He's going to be splitting still with White, Godwin, and Evans. Maybe the 23rd rank is probably more when they were banged up and missing players. I don't know if you want to look at 49ers game logs and see, they can be thrown on. That 275 is deceiving because they gave up I forgot what Sherfield got on that first touchdown, but it was like a 75-yard touchdown on the one play. So they got 200 yards the rest of the game, basically. So anyway, that's going to do it. I'm calling it. This is Billy Ho. Thanks for watching. Signing off. Hopefully I neglected to do my bad last week to finishing video, but I'll try to get one out Friday or Saturday again this week. No PGA. So I had a good week in the Hero, but looking forward to next season. But till the next video, see you soon. Thanks for watching.